welcome to today's video. Today I would like to give you an outline of how you can renew your travel facility after your permanent visa is approved. So this video is only applicable to you if you got permanent visa approved already under Global Talent Independent Program or you receive invitation. So it's not useful for someone who's considering lodging EOI or EOI has been rejected or anything like that. This is only applicable to Global Talent Independent Program. It might not be applicable to any other subclasses. So this information is only true if you got permanent visa under the Global Talent Independent Program. So this section will cover three areas. One, when you should actually enter Australia after your PR has been approved. Second, how you can actually renew PR and then after 5 years. Third, how you can become Australian citizenship after your PR. Okay, three areas I would like to cover. First of all, we want to separate two types of concepts here. First concept, when I should enter Australia. Okay, when you enter Australia. Why this is different concept between when you should enter Australia and when you can renew. Now, when you can enter Australia, this is kind of visa condition, right? Visa condition. Once you apply, you have some condition you have to follow, and otherwise that your visa will be lapsed. Okay, so what is the visa condition? The first one, in the past, the visa condition is you must activate, which means enter Australia, Australia border within 12 months. So when the time your visa is granted, you must enter Australia within 12 months. This is in the past. This is not applicable anymore. Okay, it's not applicable. So you are not required to enter Australia within 12 months. You can enter Australia within next 5 years. Okay, within the next 5 years, you have to enter Australia once to activate your visa. All right. So, but someone said, okay, you know what? I don't want to stay Australian right now. I'm not ready. I want to, I have to manage, think about employment, that's right. I don't want to enter Australia now. So what happens if I enter Australia, let's say 2021, today, let's say end of May or June, and your visa is granted in May, okay, 1st of May. Your visa is granted on May. So once your PR, which is GTI PR, here is granted on May 2021, your visa expired, the travel facility will actually expire on May 2026. All right. So this is the time your travel facility. This does not refer to your visa will be cancelled after that day. No, you won't. You'll be permanent because you have got permanent visa. Permanent means permanent, right? Permanent. There is no limitation whatsoever. However, there is something, if you wanted to come to Australia or do something, if let's assume someone, for example, they're currently in Australia, they stay in Australia at the time when the visa was granted onshore, and they don't want to leave Australia at all. They leave the whole duration, okay, whole duration, and then the 2020, let's say 30. Okay, they forgot to renew anything, but they didn't do anything. Can we say that person is not permanent resident? No, he actually is permanent resident, regardless of the time. Okay, so that's the meaning of a permanent resident. The only difference is the Australia visa has a kind of something called a travel facility. So travel facility means you have to have something to enter Australia, which sometimes people say, okay, this is visa, isn't it? Visa means you can enter Australia. That's different concept here. Travel facility allows you to enter Australia within the next 5 years. Okay, within the next 5 after your PR is approved. So visa day, okay? The day it's not calculated from the date your invitation is received. It's not calculated date from the visa is lodged. It's actually calculated. It's not calculated the day you enter Australia. It is actually calculated of your visa date. Okay, the day you got permanent visa, and that is the date of visa grant. And that date, calculate 5 years. And the travel facility only valid for 5 years. Okay, so if someone say, they forgot to renew, and in 2023, 30, they forgot, they say, okay, I want to leave Australia, but for a holiday in Europe, and for 3 weeks, and what they need to do. At that time, they then need to renew. Okay, they then need to renew this. And provided the time, how can they renew? They need to renew this travel facility. When they return back from Europe, they can enter Australia, right? So during the time they stay in Australia, they don't need to renew, right? Because they are not leaving, which means they're not required to enter Australia on something called a visa. Now, someone else turned 30 and they forgot about renew and they say, okay, I want to go to Europe and come back. And in this case, before they depart, they must renew. Okay, so how you can renew? So 2 out of 5 years. If you stay in Australia, more than 2 out of 5 years. Okay, so let's say 2 out of 5. So this is critical time, it's 2. You must stay in Australia at least 2 out of 5 years. Accumulate. It doesn't matter how many months you stay, a particular financial year or calendar year is fine. So 2 out of 5 years in any given period. Then you'll be renewed another 5 years travel facility. Okay. So another 5-year travel facility will be granted to you if you stay 2 out of 5 years. Now what happens? Someone say, okay, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about. I don't think I can make it. I can make it for 2 out of 5 years. So apart from that, people ask me, oh, apart from that, what else I need to meet? No, you don't need to meet anything else. Just to meet 2 out of 5 years. That's it. And provided you good character, which is police check again, right? So that's it. 2 out of 5 years, you'll be granted another 5 years. Okay, another 5 years. Once you've got 5 years and carry on. Okay, every time about to renew, about to expire entry date, you can then carry on renew. Now, what happens? Someone actually could not stay in Australia 2 out of 5 years. So that's a very common question asked by someone. A lot of our candidates. Okay, so in this case, someone say, okay, I can't stay in Australia that long. So my visa was granted to May 2021, but I actually want to come to Australia 2024. All right, let's say 25. Okay, 25. So at the time, my expiry date May 2000. What can I do? All right, simple. Because let's say you enter Australia, you did not enter Australia between 2021 until 2025. So in May 2025, you enter Australia. So therefore, you only stay in Australia 1 out of 5, right? Yeah. Okay, 1 out of 5. If you continue to stay in Australia, right, what do you do? So if you stay less than 2 out of 5 years, you'll be granted for 1 year. Provided you meet this compelling reason, you meet some conditions called, that is a compelling reason. That is compelling reason. So something called a compelling reason, you must justify. Okay, you must justify that. Now, most time in this situation, you say, okay, I have compelling reason. If someone's already in Australia, that's simple as that. They say, okay, you know what? I've got kids here. I have the company here, or I've got job here. That's enough. If someone in Australia at the time of apply renewal, that will be sufficient. Okay, compelling reason by providing an employment status will be sufficient. However, if someone's, for example, after this date they have no intention to return to Australia, how can you meet compelling reason? Okay, how can we? Let's have. Under these circumstances, we will have 2 situations. One situation is they left Australia enter Australia at once and left Australia without PR. Okay, for instance, someone say they came to Australia and the visa was travel facility expired May 2026. All right, and then they did not know. They forgot. They say, okay, they stay in Australia 2027, right? So by the time I mention again, by the time the travel facility already expired. Now this person who left Australia May 2027. Therefore, the circumstance is they left Australia without PR. Okay, that's one circumstance. left without PR, without travel facility. Okay, they left and they forgot. And they have to justify why you left without PR. The compelling reason will therefore the justification. First of all, why you left Australia without PR. Secondly, and then why you did not return back. Okay, permanent reason, I say, okay, you want to, have a commitment, you want to settle Australia at home, permanent home. Now it's your declaration, and you say, okay, I left without PR and I forgot about renewal and I don't want to return. And then why you have reason to return. So 2 reasons you must give. Why you mess with PR and why you now want to return. Now the different circumstances, if someone, for instance, they do come in Australia quite a few weeks each year, but they just have something like commitment, work they can't leave, okay? So in this instance, I always encourage you to renew it while in Australia. Let's do this. So for instance, your PR is going to expire in 2026 May, isn't it? 2006 May. So you must enter Australia prior to this date or about to expire. Let's say March. Yeah, March in 2026. Now this date, you must get it renewed first before you leave. Okay, renew it before you leave, and that's really important. How easy is that? It's a lot easier to renew it in Australia than outside Australia, because you can actually renew. It's easier, isn't it? Take a few weeks. For instance, if someone really forgot, okay, renew it. Now we still need to meet the compelling reason, isn't it? Compelling reason. In terms of how heavy, let me consider this word as how heavy the evidence is. The longer you stay in Australia, the less type of evidence you need to provide. As simple as that. So 2 out of 5 months, 5 years, you don't provide much. Let's say you have stayed in Australia 1 year, 1.5 years. Not much need to provide. Now, if you only stay in Australia 1 day out of 5 years, you're going to explain a lot. You're going to explain, think about that. It's a common sense. So compelling reason, there's no legislation to define what is meant by compelling reason or compelling reasons, okay? Compelling reasons. The more you have, the better it is. And we have experienced all kinds of candidates. As long as they come out with something, we're able to assist that. This is really personal circumstance. I can't give you concrete answer, yes or not. But as long as you have some reason, as long as you have some reason, and what kind of reason and compelling reasons you can come out with. For instance, most of the time, compelling reason be why you need to return Australia, right? Why you need to return Australia. One, it is now you have job, you have a new job, right? You have a job in Australia, new job offer. You need to return Australia. Secondly, you have a permanent home in Australia. Okay, you have property. Properties. You have a business. So maybe you have a home, a main home address, but you have 2 rental properties. Then you set up a company, right, to manage this. You have a business. Okay, and then you say, okay, I have kids studying in Australia. Right, or I have relatives. I have colleagues, yeah? So all of these are plus points. You are not thinking about, oh, I don't have any of them, but think about what you can bring up to people to give a compassionate consideration. So, oh, understandable. I think that's a particular reason you left Australia and now you need to come back to Australia. For instance, if they really have kind of commitment about running then the business outside Australia, you're going to come out with something. Generally speaking, department is a little bit welcoming for comment to, so accepting all kind of reasons as long as it's justifiable, isn't it? Now, for all these compelling reasons applicable to all circumstances, circumstances of you renew in Australia, you renew outside Australia, or you forgot to renew, it's fine too.